Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smoker Spot. We're doing another cigar review. It's Friday again, and today, man, I'm so excited. That's the new Davidoff 515 Madison, named after the Davidoff Flagship Store in New York City, Madison Avenue 515. Waiting quite some time for this little stick here, and I'm very eager to smoke it and see if it can hold up to the expectations I have. I know sometimes it's not such a good idea to have high expectations because you might get disappointed, but this little beauty is really looking gorgeous, so I really hope it will smell fantastic. I didn't know what I wanted to say. I hope it will taste fantastic. I hope it will smell fantastic. I hope just it's a fantastic cigar, because after all it's around 33 euros, so that's quite expensive, but that's what we know from Davidoff. So we'll see. I will get started in a second. 515 Madison. So guys, as you can see, it has a little pigtail, and this time, actually guys, that here was the first punch cutter I bought, like, don't know, 30 years ago. Very simple, but it's still doing its job. Just has one ring gauge for, actually it's meant for smaller cigars, because way back in time cigars were not so big in general with such a huge ring gauge, so it was fitting perfectly. But I would also try it on this one here. You can simply punch it through the pigtail, that's not a problem, and I'm pretty sure it will make a fantastic symmetric hole. Cold draw. Good. Not as intense as I thought it would be, but we have some coffee, the sweetness of roasted coffee, some earth tones as usual, and smoke. Let's see. The smell. Actually, there's not very much to smell. Let's see. You know, guys, the flagship store in New York City that cigar is named after is in business for 33 years now. I mean, it's quite some time. And frankly, I don't know how they still can be there after all that regulations, that anti-smoker laws that are active in the United States, especially in New York City. But hey, they are still there. They're still doing their thing. And I'm happy they are doing so. Looking good. First few puffs, man. We'll see out. So excited. Very good. I see it when I'm drawing at it. On the video it looked like it would just be lit over here, but that's not the case. It's lit everywhere. And I can say already it's producing a very, very nice smoke. Very heavy. And the draw is perfect. Just enough resistance to make it a good cigar, but not too much resistance so that your cheeks are going to hurt. It just arrived. Actually, you know, sometimes when we're doing a cigar review, of course, then it's not the first time we're smoking this cigar. But in this case, it just arrived today in the Davidoff Flagship Store here in Frankfurt, and just instantly bought one. And I thought, wait, that might be a good idea to do directly a review and see how it tastes and tell everybody what I think about it, if that is of interest at all. Guys, the wrapper is pure magic. It is red, brown, somewhere a little reddish, a little brownish, you know. It's actually it's Yamasa, a wrapper. There's also the Davidoff Yamasa, and they took that tobacco plant and were ripping off the best leaves and used it as a wrapper. I love the Yamasa. Fantastic cigar. And guys, I have to tell you, in this first 2 or 3 minutes, I'm impressed by this one here. I'm still here in my garden because it's still summer and it's still scorching hot. I think even here in Frankfurt last weekend we had like a record this year. It was 38 degrees. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I think 200. Probably not, but telling you it's damn hot. So I'm enjoying, like right now it's like 8:30, and it's getting a little bit cooler. A little bit of wind is going through the garden here, and I'm really enjoying that, together with this good cigar. And you know, the picture quality might not be so good because it's getting darker, but that's, I think it produces a little bit atmosphere for cigar smoking. I don't know if that is true, but it sounds good at least. I got this little, I prepared this little piece of paper here because it had so much tobaccos inside I couldn't memorize it. It's a Toro. Actually, most of the limited editions from Davidoff are Toros because it's a pretty good vitola. So it has, let me see, mostly San Vicente tobacco. The filler, San Vicente Mejorado Visus, San Vicente Ligero, Piloto Ligero, a hybrid tobacco 254, and San Vicente Ligero from the Dominican Republic. The binder is Negro San Andres Seco from Mexico. That's interesting. And as I said, the wrapper is the Yamasa from the Dominican Republic. And they were putting, you know, when you are selling a cigar for roughly 40 bucks, you have to do some pretty good marketing in order to sell it to the people. So they've made a pretty nice text over here. It's very rare, they say. It's very limited. It's only going to flagship stores worldwide. So here in Germany, we have like 3 flagship stores. I think one of the biggest is here in Frankfurt, actually. And they're not very much. Yeah, but you know, guys, one thing that was really bothering me today was I mean, they're selling this cigar for 40 bucks. Is it worth 40 bucks? No. Will I pay 40 bucks? Yes, I will, obviously, because I'm crazy. And I think there are enough crazy people out there who are buying cigars for 40 bucks. Because it's our hobby, because we love it, and sometimes maybe because we love expensive things, I don't know. But is it worth 40 bucks? No, of course not. And then what I wanted to say is, I was buying this cigar today, and you know what? It's coming in a box of 10. The box is just like paper. It's not even a real box. It's just paper. And that was a little disappointing, frankly, because usually Davidoff is making very, very beautiful boxes. Just think of all the year of the dog, year of the rat, year of the horse, whatever. Man, these boxes, they were great. A piece of art for itself. And it's the same price. All these year editions, they around in euros they started with 32 and the last one was like 36. So this is 33 euros. So it's more or less the same. So god damn it, just put a nice box around it, because I want to collect it and put it in my humidor. And I don't want to put just a piece of paper in there. Anyhow, of course, it's not affecting the taste of the cigar, but everything around it, So I don't get that. Please, somebody can explain to me why using paper instead of a box for 33 euro cigar. That's 330 euros. That's $400 for 10 cigars, and you put it in a sheet of paper. I don't get it. Well, I don't want to talk myself into into a rage, but it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Tobacco was aging for, is that right, 7 years. Okay, not sure if you can taste that. Good morning. That was my neighbor. Actually, his nickname is Aki the Pipe. Maybe sometimes I will put it here in my video, because it's a fun thing when you're doing your reviews in the garden. All the neighbors are walking back and forth, and they're saying hello and so on. Part of the game. And my wife was just bringing my espresso here. Let me show you. Look over here. Beautiful. Guys, I will smoke it for a while. We will fast forward a little bit so you can watch what I'm doing here in the fast forward mode, and then we will talk a little bit more about this Davidoff Madison 515. See you soon, guys. So guys, we are into the second third. I think it's pretty popular to divide cigars into thirds. A lot of people doing this, me too. Frankly, I don't know why, but makes sense. We also could use quarters, right? Or just a half, but we're using thirds. And why? Because that's the way it is. I want to show you something. And I think somewhere over here we will also do a close-up of it. I want to show you the ash of this 30-something euro cigar. Frankly, what do you think about that? This is just crazy. Frankly, I leave it here. I'm pretty sure it will fall down in a minute or so. Actually, I have to correct myself because while I was smoking, I was reading through the press info from Davidoff, and it's actually 34 euros, not 33. I'm so sorry. This won't make it any better, right? When I'm paying 34 euros for a cigar, I expect it to be perfect, really perfect. And I have to tell you, the taste is great. The draw is super, but the ash, that's a catastrophe. That that should not happen, really. I mean, look at this. It's look. I call it the flower because it opens like a blossom of a flower. I mean, that's very nice words for bad for bad thing that happens, but man, that's just not cool. I will put it in my ashtray here because I don't want to ruin my nice shirt. Crazy. Ash is not good. Other than that, let me tell you a little bit more about the taste. Because after all, that's really what matters, right? A very interesting thing happened here with this 515 Madison. We have the flavors I mentioned earlier, but there was something new coming. It was adding another flavor that was not there in the first third, and that is dark chocolate. And that's crazy because, like, after 10 minutes or so, this chocolate flavor came up. First, very mild, but it was becoming more intense, and now it's like this really dark chocolate, that has like this 85%. Forgot the word. You know what I'm talking about? Dark chocolate. Damn it. Uh, mm. And that's very interesting, and it shows the complexity of the filler in combination with the binder and the wrapper. The Yamasa that I mentioned earlier, and the wrapper is a Yamasa, has no chocolate at all. So I'm pretty sure it's not coming from the wrapper, but we're using this different kind of tobaccos in the filler. And the blender, so the guy who was doing the mix of the whole cigar, they were doing a pretty good job. It has a lot of complexity, and it's like every puff or so you're experiencing and you find something new. It's like a little adventure that you're going through when you're smoking this cigar. So taste-wise, it's delicious. It's it's great. It's a great cigar. But now we have 2 points where I'm disappointed about. First was the box that I mentioned, or the non-existent box, and secondly now the ash. Frankly, Davidoff has also in the past, they had problems with the ash. And even the the most fantastic thing I experienced, like 2 years ago, I bought a box of Davidoff Royal Robusto and a box of the Davidoff Royal Salomones. They are like €100 cigars. I bought it for a special occasion, so I'm not usually buying like paying not usually €1,000 for a box, but it was a special occasion, and so I bought 2 boxes. And the first box I'm halfway through because I'm usually smoking one Royal release, Davidoff Royal release at New Year's Eve or at Christmas. Because it's a special cigar, special occasion. There's a long story behind it, and in another review on the Cigar Talk, I will tell you the story behind it. But what I wanted to tell is, even then, with this €100 cigar, the ash was falling down after like 10 minutes or so. And man, I was complaining about that. I was talking to the guy, to Stefan, who's the owner of my favorite shop, where we're usually doing all the reviews and stuff. In this very nice, it's such a nice place, really. But I told him, man, that cigar, I mean, it was great. And the same was here. Is it worth €100? No. No cigar is worth €100 when it's coming to a taste. It's all the stuff around, and you have to be crazy to buy it. But is it worth it? No, no, no. But that's my own problem, how much I pay for a cigar. So, but I told him, look, what I expect is it has to be perfect. Perfect quality. I cannot accept when, for example, let's go back to this cigar. When this cigar would have a bad draw, that would be such a big disappointment. In this case, it has a good draw, and the taste is great and everything, just the ash, but it should not happen. And talking about expensive cigars, we had a discussion the other day with one of my buddies about Cuban cigars versus Davidoff and so on. And you know what the big difference is? Usually, when you're smoking Cubans, you know what I'm talking about. They have a lot of quality issues, like the draw is not good, the burn is not good, whatever. You never have this problem with a Davidoff. I'm smoking like per average, like between 3 and 4 cigars per day, every day, 365 days a year, when I'm not sick or something. I'm smoking a lot of Davidoffs, I'm smoking a lot of Cubans, and you have a lot of problem with Cubans, but you don't have the same problem with Davidoff. So there is a difference in the craftsmanship, in the tobacco, in the quality control. You can feel it. But even then, that should not happen. That's all I want to say about it. And I don't want to talk anymore about bad ash and this this joke of a box, because it's ruined the cigar, and I want to enjoy the cigar. So I will stop being mad about things that I cannot change, and I'm trying to focus on the cigar, how it tastes, and what is the good thing about it. Cannot change some things, right? And now while I'm smoking, and we slowly entering like the second half, so I'm not talking any longer in thirds. It's the second half of the cigar, and we now not only have chocolate, we have I think cedar. Not that I ever was eating a cedar stick or something, but I'm trying to compare it to the smell of cedar and what I think the taste should be. And that's when, in general, when you're talking about. Actually, there's my daughter over here walking by. Hi, Emily. Funny. Uh, so when you're talking about the different aspects of taste, grass, hay, wood, earth, leather. I mean, you're not eating that stuff, right? So you don't know. Usually, I don't know what you eating, guys, but I'm usually my lunch does not contain earth, leather, and wood. So when, in general, when cigar smokers, not only me, talking about the different aspects of taste, it's what you think it should taste like, or you're taking your experience from the smells of different things, and you're trying to put it into the cigar in order to project a picture in your mind so that you can describe the cigar. Otherwise, it would be not describable. You could not describe it when you have no words for it. So that's why we're using all these funny things like wood, cedar, oak, earth, leather, and all that stuff. One time I had a cigar. We had a tasting, like with 3 different cigars and different whiskeys and stuff. And I think it was a Matilde. Don't know if you know that brand. At least it's popular in Germany. And there was one thing popping in my mind. It was rust. I had no idea. Well, I was the only one. We were like 16 people. And I was the only one who was telling, this cigar tastes like rust. And of course, it was not a very nice thing to describe it. But somehow that was the feeling. So that's what you're using then. And actually, I have to fire it up a little bit more. In general, when you're not so experienced with cigars or cigar smoking, if you have a really good cigar, you can talk for a while like I'm doing over here, and the cigar should still be lit and glowing and producing some smoke. But sometimes when you're talking too much and when you forgot your cigar, it can happen that you have to light it up again. And now the draw, it was perfect. Now it's getting a little bit too tight. So what I will do, and that's the secret behind. Well, it's not a secret. It's like, I was punch cutting it because that's my preferred method of open the cigar. The good thing about that is you can control the draw. You have a very small opening. The draw then is a little bit tighter. You have a smaller smoking channel where the smoke is coming through. And when you then, after a while, you think that it's getting a little bit too tight, you can open that hole a little bit more. And how do you do that? There are 2 ways. Either you're taking a bigger punch cutter and you're making a bigger hole, or what I will do right now, because right now that was the only punch cutter I have over here. I have others somewhere else. I'm using a cutter, and that's what I will do now. So you remove the ash that's on the cigar. You're taking a cutter like this one, also very old. It's a very old cigar cutter. Has like say 10 years easily. And you just cut it. And then all of a sudden, well, it's magic. You have like a bigger hole. And then I could bet on it. It was better. So that was also a little lessing in cutting and opening up a cigar. Much better. I still enjoy the cigar, and it has a lot of cool aspects. But you know, I think usually I'm buying a lot of boxes, different brands. But what I'm doing nowadays, you know, years back I was just blindly buying boxes. And then I got disappointed when I was opening up the box and the cigar was not as good as I expected it. So what I'm doing nowadays is, if I found a cigar that I think is good, or that I was waiting for, or whatever, or that I just find interesting, I buy one cigar, I try it, if I like it, I buy a box or two. I'm this kind of crazy person that is buying actually two boxes. One box for collecting. I put it in my cabinet humidor, and I collect it simply. There's a lot of cigars where I never opened the box. I mean, I opened it for looking at it and inspecting it and all that stuff, but I'm not open it in order to take a cigar out and smoke it. I just collect it. And then I have another box where I took all the cigars out that I actually want to smoke. So that means I'm a collector. I'm collecting cigars. Actually, the only two things that I'm really collecting are cigars and whiskey. It's the only two things. And when I think about it, the good thing about cigars and whiskey, they are both healthy. You know, whiskey in Gaelic, it's like it's like the water of life. So man, it's that stuff is keeping me alive. A whiskey per day, and no, guys, that's just joking. I'm not drinking. Frankly, I'm not drinking a whiskey per day. I had times when I was drinking a whiskey or two or three per day, but it's was like 10 years ago. Now I'm trying to find the right event or occasion to drinking a whiskey and combine it with a good cigar. And frankly, that's what I'm if I'm thinking about it, I'm only drinking whiskey when I'm smoking cigars. Very good combination. And you know what I'm thinking about now is what whiskey would pair good or going along very good with the cigar. I don't know if you guys know Edward. That's a very small distillery. I think it's the second smallest distillery. It used to be the smallest distillery in Scotland. Now it's the second smallest. I was there like 2 or 3 times. Great guys over there making extraordinary good whiskey. They're not producing a lot, but very good. And they have this nutty, sweet flavors, usually. They have a few additions with different kinds, but when you have an Edward that was aged in a sherry cask or in portwood, like in a barrel where they used to port wine had in it, it's a great combination, I think. But maybe I'm buying another 515 Madison and trying it together with an Edward. And maybe this time or next time, then the ash is better. Damn it, I didn't want to talk about the ash anymore. Good cigar. After all, it's a good cigar. But I don't think, I won't buy a box. Maybe one more. Maybe smoking it together with my buddies. And smoking together, talking about the cigar and being mad about ash and boxes and shit. But that's it. Tastes is good. Guys, I will leave you for now. I'm sorry. I will relax a little bit and I will finish the cigar. 515 Madison. And I think the next time we will smoke, maybe not the next review, but this one after that or whatever. I think because I was talking so much about the Yamasa, because the wrapper is Yamasa and I really like it. And I've just figured out that it was the first Davidoff we're doing a review on, which is actually crazy because we're always doing it in the Davidoff Flagship Store. And I think I will also doing a review on the Davidoff Yamasa because it's a really good cigar. Also a little bit more expensive, not expensive like this one, but expensive. Very good cigar, and there's such a beautiful and nice story behind the Yamasa that I want to share with you. So I think we will do this next time or the time after that. For now, guys, stay healthy. Smoke a good cigar. I hope to see you soon. And next Wednesday, another cigar talk, and the Friday after that, another review. See you soon.